Welcome back to Throttle. My name's Carl Schlacht, former professional supercross and motocross racer. With all the hype around the bagger racing movement, we created Throttle, a place to hear from the racers, the insiders, and talk all things baggers. Today's special guest is Tony Sollima, aka Tony Shreds, aka Mr. Hollywood. He's been around since day one. He's been a motorcycle shop owner, he's a racer. We're excited to talk to him. Welcome, everybody. Tony Sollima. You've been around since day one. Tell us your story.
Well, my name is Tony Sollima. Um, I opened up a shop in 2008 out in Agora Hills with my brother, and we started working on Harleys. We started building We were right in the base of the Santa Monica Mountains, so our riding, our lunchtime riding was basically a racetrack um, in the hills. So as you can see, that eventually it evolved to building bikes that we thought were fast enough to go to a racetrack and actually handle the turns, on a Harley. And finally in 2017 or 2016, 17, we finally made our way to the racetrack. So, yeah, it was, we were out there on Dynas, you know, racing sport bikes and having fun, coming in last and still, I was still loving it. Um, but it's evolved quite a bit since then, and it's pretty freaking awesome. So
Yeah, you
from
were one of the first guys on the track on a Dyna, and then you got kind of handed a ride on a bagger, right?
I did, yeah, yeah. Fast forward a little bit. Um, all of a sudden, in 2020, Speed Merchant said, "Hey, we're building a bike, and we'd like you to get on it." And I said, "Oh, at that point, I'd purchased a 2018 Fat Bob, and I built that thing out, and we were out there racing as much as we could on that model, and doing pretty good. But in 2020, you know, Brandon from Speed Merchant, which I've had a relationship with him for quite a while, and he said, "Hey, we want a grassroots guy on the bike. We're gonna go do this thing at Laguna Seca, with they called King of the Baggers, and next thing you know, we're sitting at a table, uh, out at a racetrack with about 12 different companies, and they're all sitting around saying, "All right, we're gonna build bikes and we're gonna go hit Laguna Seca," and it was pretty amazing. We did a Harley track day and got really good feedback, and the Bagger Racing League was pretty much born through the amount of excitement that was, coming from just people wanting to ride their Harleys a different kind of way. And it's pretty amazing, getting out there on a racetrack with professionals. At this point, I never raced anything in my life. I've just been out there racing, CVMA and a couple other local races that we had out here in Southern California. So, we went out there. I managed to get around the racetrack and finish. So that was a huge win for me. Um, and I think that, I mean, I don't think any of us saw it coming. What was going to happen from then on,
So what was it like out there switching to the big bagger from the Dyna?
So well, it was the Fat Bob, the Dyna to the Fat Bob to the Bagger, but it was still either way. Dyna and Fat Bob were very similar. It was the soft tail model, uh, but the hopping on the Bagger. I mean, first off, Brawny builds an amazing, beautiful piece of art that goes really fast, and that bike, I mean, I built my bike as well as I could with the help of a lot of great companies, which Brawny was one of them as well, Speed Merchant. But hopping on that bike was a dream. It was like it was riding like I mean that bike was so nice to ride. I could go so much faster. I'd been riding my Fat Bob for a few years at that point, but I would switch onto that bike and I'd drop a couple seconds, and it was just like it was amazing how quick I was able to get on that bike and ride it the way I did. So
So you got into racing just from just basically riding the canyons, right? You did you race any type of dirt bikes or motorcycles, or have you been on a track before? Because
yeah,
I'm racing the Bagger Racing League this year in the Super Street class, and our bike's almost finished up. So, I was a motocross, supercross professional. I had a 10-year pro career, and I
yeah.
was just a mid-pack guy, but it was pretty intense. And we're looking to switch it up this year. What did you do? What kind of background did you have?
Nothing. Literally, it was a it was just us shredding the canyons, as I used to like to, I'd like to say. We get
Shreds.
out there, we get out there, shred the canyons. We stop at the bar, and a few times, a few of my friends, we'd sit there and be like, "Damn, wouldn't it be so freaking cool if we were on a racetrack doing this shit?" I mean, we'd be fender to fender. We'd be passing each other in corners and super sketchy, unsafe shit. You know what I mean? So, and having fun, but as safe as we could, but still on a open road, with bicyclists and cars going over the double yellow, and it was just stupid stuff, right? But we had fun. But we'd stop and say, dude, it'd be so rad to be if we had this whole road, to ourselves and stuff like that. And we would do test runs up the Snake, which is the Mulholland. A lot of people are familiar with the rock store photos and everybody crashing around that corner. That's basically at my shop was at the base of that hill. So we'd go up there and we do time trials and race each other going up that freaking road. But eventually, that was my only background, was just shredding the crap out of my Harley in the canyons. And when I went to the racetrack, you go, holy crap, this is a canyon, but it's a 40-foot wide canyon, and there's no cliffs and rocks hanging out, and guardrails, and fortunately, I crashed my Harley on the racetrack at Chuckwalla at 110 plus. Um, if I was on the race, if it was if it was in the canyons, I was not walking away from that. I walked away with a bruised ankle, and was drinking beers as they, you know, tractored my bike off the track. But it was everything was a learning experience. I was out there racing guys on sport bikes, and basically just threw myself in the pit and and these guys are like, what the hell is this guy doing out here? But I'd beat a handful of them. They're not experienced riders or whatever, but they were on sport bikes. I'd go out there and beat them. So I was, and then all of a sudden, we had a handful of guys that come out and start racing Harleys, and people started offering Harley only races and stuff like that. And, shoot, it's amazing to see where this whole thing has gone.
Yeah, it's
And
it's really growing, and for 2024, you can pretty much race a Sportster, a Big Twin, so it's going to be an exciting year.
the Bagger Racing League has been a group of guys that said, you know what, we're gonna test these uncharted waters. When the big guys, I was I was bringing this to the big guys table since day one, and the factory had nothing to wanted nothing to do with it. These big guys, these big corporations that are involved now, they wanted nothing to do with it. Nobody in the factory wanted to be a part of a guy racing a Harley. It was pretty funny. But you know what? These aftermarket companies, and which another reason I was part of that aftermarket company. I had a little parts company that I was running as well, and I thought that, hey, Harley racing could only help everybody in the whole industry. I mean, it's what thrives people in the sport bike industry all the time. They want to put other people's plastics on. They want to, people are going to races, and I'll tell you what, racing anything is freaking fun. So, and that's what I learned once I got out to the racetrack. You could race freaking anything. And me, I'm down to race anything with wheels, pretty much. So, but it's just something that I don't know. I'm getting way off track here, but it's something that the Bagger Racing League, they saw that. They saw that these guys are there's a whole group of people that want to take bikes and go ride, and we want to ride the bikes that we ride, not go, okay, we got to go ride this other bike if we want to race on a track. We want to go ride the bikes we love to ride. And they came out swinging and started something that was not started something that wasn't there, right? And I think that the Bagger Racing League is catering to those people and the industry. Excellent. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I've had some personal stuff happen, and I've had to step away from the racing scene altogether. But as you can see, I got a bike back here. It's a project, and it's we'll be back in full swing here, as soon as we can. But um, I the Bagger Racing League, I love seeing everything that they've been putting out. They've done what they do for the actual riders and the race uh, scene in general, and our side of it is amazing. I think that they're doing an excellent job, and I love to see them do more races, and they're going international, and I love to see all these different kinds of races. I mean, it's they're doing an excellent job, and it's not easy. Definitely not easy.
So the Bagger Racing League has three bagger classes. You have the GP, which is like your pro class, the pro stock class, which is pretty much unlimited, amount of money you could spend on your motorcycle. And then you have the super street class, which is the new class. And there's some limitations on the motor size and different things that you can change up there. Like you got to have a stock swing arm, and you can pretty much get out there on anything. There's a
Yes.
class for you. Some of the other series, they only have one bagger class.
Yeah.
It's just one open class. So that's going to make it tough for an entry level guy like myself coming in, or, you're building a new bike. What class are you going to go in?
I'd like to say I'm going to do the GP class, but I mean, it's been a couple of years since I've been even on the track, so I'm going to come in, I'm going to get in where I fit in, and I'm going to build a rocket ship, and I'm going to come out there and go as fast as I possibly can. I see some video in the background. I think that might be Utah. I'm not sure, but I was on the Speed Merchant Bagger on that race, and man, we were cooking. I went dirt biking a little bit, but
What was your favorite track and your biggest competition?
I mean, look, so far, I mean, I didn't get to race in the series last year, but Laguna Seca has been my favorite track that I've ridden. Willow Springs is another one of my favorites. It's only because it's a home track for me. Um, but you know, Utah and also Sonoma. When we went to Sonoma, that was a pretty awesome racetrack. That was I think that was the first year we went and hit Sonoma, and dude, that was pretty awesome. So.
And what about who are you out there battling with?
So I mean, there's so many great guys out there battling. Me and Joker, we've always been racing each other. It's always going back and forth. It's always a battle, and basically it's a battle against yourself, right? I mean, you go out there and you try to beat other people, but you have to beat yourself every time you go out to improve. So but I think I have the most battles with Lucas, and he's a great rider. He's fast. Clay, all these guys that are coming up and riding. They've been out practicing and putting in the time and effort, and it's a lot of time. It's a lot of effort. It goes from having fun and you're sitting there chilling, drinking beers, bullshitting, and then all of a sudden now you're putting on a race suit and you're freaking, weren't, checking out race maps and looking at this, and you know, it's amazing. It's crazy, difficult, easy, fun. It's all of it. But once we put the helmet on and get on the racetrack, it's like a battle, and we go at it. And but I have to say, and like I said, it's been a few years since I've been on the track, so there's probably going to be a lot more people that are. I know there's going to be more battles, but few years back, me and Lucas were going at it pretty good.
Who should we keep an eye on this year? Who's some of your favorite guys to be watching?
Man, there's so many. Let's see. Clay's a good one. He's that kid. He's so determined. I've been out there with him. He's definitely something to keep an eye on. Um, hopefully myself. We'll see. I'm hoping that I'll get back out there and get in the mix, and I'll be able to figure out who I have to keep a closer eye on. But
So you're building the bike, and I see you got it in some pieces over there for everyone watching. If you're just listening, you tune in on YouTube and you can see what the bike's looking like. He's got the race wheel up there, aftermarket swing arm, kind of got it covered up, so we keeping it secret. But
I had to uncover the alloy art. The alloy art's always been a great help. He's everybody over there. They've been involved, and not only these are companies that I mean I sent out so many emails when I first started, because I owned a shop. I was trying to get out there. I knew all these companies because I sold their products. But I'll tell you what, like, there was a handful of guys that jumped on board and said, anything you freaking need, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Alloy Art was definitely one of them. Saddleman. There's a lot of companies that you know from the get go they were all about it, and they're still out there with the Bagger Racing League. It's pretty
and
awesome.
and you have a little bit of a resume now. So back then you had no resume. You have some race wins and
Yeah.
probably some really good photos of yourself. Now you can get some more companies. Who do we need to reach out to get you hooked up?
Oh, to everybody.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I'm getting my feet wet again. Let's just say, like, we're jumping in right now. There's some things that have happened recently that I've got to a point where I can start back on this project, which is huge. I got my dark horse bottom end. Robbie from an Alloy Art, they're hooking me up with the swing arm. I got their front end. We got a couple of components from them, and we're really looking forward to getting out there and competing. So
So how
anybody
do
that's
people?
interested that wants to jump on board, we're hoping to get up there on the podium, and I know we can do it.
So you're looking to build your team for your race team for 24. How can everyone get a hold of you, follow along on your racing journey, or if they need to reach out if they're looking to sponsor you?
Yeah, if anybody's interested, they want to reach out and help and get on jump on board. My Instagram is Tony_shreds, and my email is Anthony Sollima 27 at gmail.com. Feel free to hit me up. We're always looking for help. There's this racing scene, this racing thing is always it takes a village. And we're really hoping to get some great sponsors on board. I have a couple, which obviously Alloy Art is one of them, but we're making some moves, and we're hitting people up, and we're sending out that resume, and can't wait to get back on the racetrack, man. It's something that really it's really something I love to do, and it's been a while because we got to take care of our families and stuff, but we're gonna be out. We're gonna hit it strong.
Well, we know you have a ton of fans out here, and we're all excited to see you out there racing. Maybe I'll get to battle with you a little bit, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. Can't wait to see you. Thanks for joining us today on Throttle, Tony. We'll see you at the races. Tony shreds, everybody.
Yeah. Right on, man. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. When I got the phone call, my wife said I had the biggest smile on my face. I'm always down to talk about racing motorcycles. So it was my pleasure, and hopefully everybody enjoys it. And you know, can't wait to see everybody at the track.
All right, we'll see you next time on Throttle.